In this video, we'll go over coordination and response in animals. So it will be just an introduction to this topic. Now, talking about securing your future of your academics, or maybe you just want to improve on your academic performances, feel free to join our WhatsApp group through the link in the description. In this group, we get to share many challenging questions so that when you solve, we find out where you are going wrong and then we provide the guidance. Now, without wasting much of your time, let's dig deeper into the topic at hand. Now, one thing you have to understand under this topic is that it is made up of two systems. So we have the endocrine system and the nervous system. Now, coordination itself is the process by which organs and system of the body work together efficiently. So it simply means that we are just talking about organs and what? And systems working together. That is what we call coordination. Now, we understand that we only have two types of coordination, of which of the endocrine system and the nervous system. Now, talking about the endocrine system, this is just a system which is the type of coordination that is made up of what? Ductless glands, and then these glands, they are the ones that produce what? Hormones. Now you have to understand this term ductless. When they say ductless, which simply means that these, they do not have what? They do not have ducts. They have no, we can just say no ducts. Now what is a duct? A duct, this is simply just a tube. This is just a tube where a substance, in this case we are talking about glands being ductless, and in these glands we said that they produce what? Hormones. Therefore these glands, they produce hormones, and then these hormones, they do not go through the what? The tube, because the glands themselves do not have what? This tube. So that's what we, when someone says no, the glands, these glands are ductless, which simply means that they do not have what? Tubes where hormones which are being produced by these same glands passes. Now you understand later that when a hormone is being produced, it's being transported by the what? By the blood, because these glands, they do not have duct in which hormones can pass going to the target organs. So now you have to understand that a hormone, it is a chemical messenger. So a hormone is chemical a chemical messenger. Now, yes, it is a chemical messenger, but this is a short definition. Now, the thing which you have to understand is the long definition, because it contains an explanation as well at the same time. So, a hormone is a chemical substance, or it is a substance secreted by the what? Ductless glands, and it is being transported by blood and has effects on one or more target organs before being destroyed by the liver. So we have discovered again that a liver, it is the one which does what? Destroys the hormones when these hormones, they have performed their what? Their functions. So when a hormone is being secreted by the gland, this hormone goes to the target organ, and then when it finishes its function there, it's being destroyed by the what? By the liver. Now what is a target organ? A target organ is simply any organ that carries a what? An appropriate response to a stimulus under the influence of the what? Of the hormone. Now what is a stimulus? A stimulus, this is just simply any change in the environment that causes what? That causes an organism to respond to it. So any change in the environment that causes an organism to respond to it, that is what we call a stimulus. Like that. Now, one thing which you also have to understand is that any hormone can only have effects on an organ that has receptor sites for it. So these receptor sites, these are more like the signals. So if a hormone is being secreted, doesn't have if the hormone which is being secreted goes to the target organ, that organ doesn't have receptors for that particular hormone which has been secreted, nothing will happen unless that organ has what? Receptors, more like signals to that particular hormone. That is where now a response can do what? Can occur. Now, this is just a summary of the human endocrine system. It displays the glands. So we have the pituitary gland, the thyroid gland, the pancreas there, the adrenal gland, the ovary, and the testis. Now, one thing which you have to understand is the pituitary gland, it is also known as the master gland. This is known as the master gland. How and why? The reason why the pituitary gland is known as the master gland, this is because it secretes hormones that stimulate other endocrine glands to function. So it secretes hormones that do what? Stimulates other endocrine glands to do what? To function. So in the next video, we are just going to explain more about the pituitary glands, the hormones which it secretes, and also the thyroid gland. And when one thing which you have to understand is that the thyroid gland also, the thyroid gland, it has it has a gland which is, it contains a gland inside the thyroid gland. So there's more like what we call the gland itself, it is a parathyroid gland. So this parathyroid gland, it is found in the thyroid gland, and then this parathyroid gland, it is the one now which secretes a hormone called parathyrin. We're also going to explain about that. And then also the pancreas. The pancreas, you have to understand that it is both an endocrine and exocrine gland. In endocrine, the pancreas perform under sugar regulation by secreting the hormones called insulin and glucagon. But when we talk about exocrine, it secretes a pancreatic juice which plays a vital role in digestion. And then we have the adrenal gland. This adrenal gland, we also, it is divided into two parts. You have the adrenal cortex and the adrenal which is also, it is divided into two. We have the adrenal cortex and the medulla. So all these, they also secrete different hormones as well. This is one thing which you also have to understand. And then we are going to also to talk about the ovaries and the testes in the next video. Thank you for your time.